Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1 and welcome to Boots on the Ground. If you sent me an email and haven't responded yet, send it again, please, and just say second attempt, third attempt. I do my best to get to them all. I physically cannot get to them all unless I hire someone to help me just go through emails. So, if you need my help, just send me another email. Let's get right into it. The ugly sweater sale from Robert at JRH, all those units were sold out. I got a lot of phone calls about them. You know, Dave, should I get the ones that are discounted because the quality is not as good? Or should I spend a lot more money and get a better one? That's really your decision. But I did try to help as many people as possible figure that out. But the ugly sweater ones are gone. He is running a special on the an upgrade. So if you were going to get the 1900 FOM, and that's the quality of it, of the tube, he will upgrade it to the 2200 because those are what he has in stock. I don't think he has a 1900. So he's upgrading. I think that's a $500 price benefit to you. So I'll put the link. If you got questions on night vision is very expensive, please contact me. We will set up a time. We'll talk on the phone and answer your questions so you feel comfortable making a large purchase like that. Our small business of the day is fernwoodcandy.com. Fernwoodcandy.com. They're a small business. They have 13 employees. They are handcrafted. They're packed and wrapped right there. They ship their own candy out. I'm not going to tell you all the candy they have because too many. But I'll give you the link. You can go there and look. Definitely would be a great Valentine's gift or just a good gift. They got a lot of good-looking chocolate and other candy. So check them out. Small business of the day, fernwoodcandy.com. Farmers across the country are sounding the alarm that could spell catastrophic for their business, as well as problems for the American economy. According to Fox Business, Mexico is set to enact a new law that would ban U.S. imports of genetically modified corn, and many are worried that this could be catastrophic to the corn farmers in America. Mexico is the largest buyer of American corn, purchasing more than $10 billion worth of corn from the U.S., and most American farmers are not set up to grow the non-GMO corn. So, big problems for our farmers. There's a lot of scientific proof that it says the GMO is not bad for you. I would have to disagree with that. So, hopefully they can come to a conclusion, because if not, it's really going to hurt the American farmer. Maybe they should just switch over to a non-GMO crop, and then they could trade with Mexico. I live in southern New Jersey. My mom has been in the hospital since mid-December and has been transferred to 3 different hospitals already. At each one, the level of care gets lower and lower. No nursing staff, no meds, no supplies. Everything is delayed, and the staff is rude and overworked. It's crazy. I've never seen it so crowded, and no one is receiving care. Just thought I'd let you know. And I don't want to end it there. There's a lot of people in the medical field that bust their butts every day, and I appreciate you. I know you're put into a system that is very hard. You definitely don't have enough workers. You don't have the things you need to do your job properly. But we do appreciate what you're doing under very bad conditions. So medical personnel, do your best, please, and we appreciate what you do for us. I'm in Northwest Alabama. My wife and I went for a long overdue dinner date at our favorite chain restaurant, Texas Roadhouse. The complimentary rolls were 1/4 of the normal size, and the tomatoes on the salads were maybe a marble or a pea size. The meal was delicious as always, but you can definitely tell they're cutting back on a few items. This comes from the former UK defense minister, and he says NATO may need to send ground forces to Ukraine. A large percent of American people and Europeans have no interest in whatsoever engaging Russia in Ukraine. They would like to stay out of the war, but the establishment appears intent on forcing the issue anyways. The delivery of NATO tanks and the possibility of long-range missiles will no doubt trigger a wider response from Russia, which will then NATO can use as a reason to escalate further. At the very least, Hawthworth does admit what many in the alternative media have been saying for some time, that Ukraine efforts have ground to a halt without further support from NATO troops. The delivery of monies and weapons are nothing more than a stopgap. Wars are won by men. The former minister suggests that Ukraine is essentially too big to fail, and NATO cannot allow Russia to prevail in the region. Otherwise, they will be emboldened to strike other nearby countries. There's actually zero evidence to support this argument, but it's clear that NATO talking heads are desperate to drum up some kind of public fervor. This is the health of U.S. manufacturing sector decline at the start of 2023. And these are from the numbers from the PMI numbers. So it shows definitely new orders are slumping because demand for domestic and export companies are definitely dwindling. So we definitely have some signs of definitely recession. This was a nice one. My neighbor is one of the types who refuse to better himself and is always going around bumming from all other neighbors. The person cannot afford food, yet every time you see them, they always have a beer in their hand, which tells me they put beer ahead of food. How would we handle this particular person in the current time with everyone facing food insecurity? Do we try to help them when they refuse to help themselves? Also, what are your thoughts on handling this type of person in a collapsed society? And I actually read this a week or so ago, and we talked about it. But he sent a follow-up. Good morning, Dave. Hope all is well with you and yours. I want to share a bit of good news for a change. The neighbor that I mentioned in my last email has started seeking the Lord. He went to church yesterday morning, which is something I've never known him to do in 20 plus years that I've known him. Keep him and his family in your prayers that they turn their lives around. They give me their first names. So, you might look at someone and you say, man, they're a waste of time. I'm not going to help them. They're lost. They're doing everything wrong. You know what? People can change. So remember that. Do not count everyone out. Show as much love and kindness as you can and as much patience as you can. This is from the East Coast. I just want to write in about pay and work hours. I've been working, let's just say, low-wage jobs for 25 years as I tried to stay home with my son. I started out in a professional job making more, but switched to part-time jobs or jobs I could work split shifts with my husband. Me home day, him home at night, so I could stay home with my child. I have noticed a big change over the last 10 years. While they have been upping the pay by a few dollars, so the jobs that used to get $10 to $12 an hour, I now get $15 an hour. But oh boy, do they expect a lot for that extra few dollars an hour. And of course, with inflation, you don't get more with your money at the grocery store or the gas pump. All this to basically say I've noticed that you don't get breaks or even a lunch break in an 8 or 9 hour workday anymore. Of course, you still get the occasional bathroom break. It used to be law to get a break and a lunch, and companies had to adhere to it or risk getting in big trouble. I worked as a nanny for a few years, and of course, that job I didn't get breaks. Then fast food at a reputable place, and surprisingly, no breaks. So the free food was pointless. And I'm at a very busy office currently. There, they work us like dogs, and we get no breaks, no lunch either. If you get lucky, you can run to the lunchroom and eat something in under 5 minutes, and then run back out. My husband gets the same thing in his job, although he's a project manager at a big company. He often is asked to do his work and the work of two to three other people, as many people are out sick or just refuse to get their work done. They run him ragged while many others play dumb or sick or old or confused, and they don't work hard. So you work 2 to 3 times hard for what you're getting and just a little bit extra money. It's a sad state of affairs, and I agree. I thought I would share my prepping story and how it saved my butt several times for those who are fence sitting or just getting started. I do not come from an area known for prepping. In fact, I'm still laughed at by my family and friends for my stockpile. I started prepping when I was married and watched Doomsday Preppers. That show made me think. Fast forward to my divorce. I was ordered for 6 months to pay 3/4 of my paycheck to my ex. He lied about his income, and I was able to still make the bills and live off my preps. This motivated me to continue. Fast forward to a rare hurricane that hit our area. I not only had food, but I had a prepared generator, batteries, lanterns, and other stuff. I was as comfortable as I could get in those conditions, and I was able to share with my friends and neighbors. Fast forward to 2020. I was still mocked and laughed at for prepping, dating my canned goods, etc. I was at a meeting with a person that was scared. I called my family and friend and said we need to prepare that very night. The next day, the lockdown came. Some did and some did not. But again, my preps allowed me the freedom to not worry and help out my close family and friends and show them the importance of prepping. The bottom line is I know of something happening. Something can happen, a lost job, a major surgery, etc. I can live on my preps. I have a way to save my freezer food, and I'll be warm. Keep prepping no matter. Don't worry about what other people say. Some news. Rockets hit the Turkish base in northern Iraq. A cluster of rockets has targeted a Turkish military base in northern Iraq. Officials from the Iraqi semi-autonomous Kurdish region said an Iranian-backed militia, the Islamic Resistance Brigade, which is part of the Iraq-Iran-backed paramilitary Popular Mobilization Force, promptly claimed responsibility for the attack on Wednesday. So, definitely, we got people involved in here. We got the Iran, we got the Iraq, we got Turkey. The world is not getting any safer, as you probably notice. Major U.S. banks, including Wells Fargo, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, and others, will push into the digital wallet space in the second half of this year to take on Apple Pay and PayPal. Early Warning Services, LLC, the bank-owned company that operates the money transfer service Zelle, will be managing the new digital wallet, according to the Wall Street Journal. The wallet has not yet to be named, but will be separate from Zelle and allow shoppers to pay at merchants' online checkouts with linked debit and credit card. It plans to offer the new digital wallet later this year and can handle up to 150 million debit and credit cards during the initial launch. Consumers in good standing with banks will be eligible for the new service. The purpose of the digital wallet is to take on third-party wallet operators such as Apple and PayPal, according to people familiar with this matter. They said banks are concerned about losing business if a digital wallet is not released soon. Even though Goldman Sachs customer unit that manages the Apple Card is a money-losing business, there is a plan to launch a high-yield savings account and buy now, pay later program. I think all of this really means eventually it will go to digital currency, and I think they're just positioning themselves and moving in that direction. This is pretty big news. The Parliament approves agreement allowing Egypt to join BRICS bank. So basically what they're going to do is allow Egypt to join the bank, and then they could be part of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, so they can do all their banking. This will definitely put pressure on the U.S. dollar, because that means that Egypt will not need to give dollars to do trades, and especially buy oil. So it's just another nail in the coffin of the U.S. dollar. I hope you're paying attention. All these stories link back together, and they basically are a few points. First point is the death of the dollar, the death of the U.S. empire. Definitely more turmoil throughout the world. So I hope you're just taking this in and then using it to motivate you to keep preparing. The State Department said that Russia is not complying with the newest START treaty obligation. This will do with the inspections of nuclear arms. They're refusing to meet with their counterparts and discuss the treaty. The treaty allows the U.S. and Russia to conduct inspections of each other's nuclear weapons. But those were paused during COVID-19, and now they're paused because Russia said no. So this could be very concerning, because if we don't know what they're doing, they don't know what we're doing. It just leads to more mistrust. And also, this comes on what Russia President Putin and his allies have been saying. They've been basically threatening the use of nuclear weapons. So, not good news for any of us. This was an article that was sent to me. It says New York and much of the East Coast are at risk of a gasoline shortage this summer as the European Union bans Russian fuel, threatens to choke off the backup supplies of the U.S. that we rely on during the peak driving season. So that would be in the summertime. Seasonal gasoline stockpiles already are at a decade low, and heavy winter maintenance at refineries may further trim inventories. So this could definitely lead to shortages. It could lead to definitely spikes in prices. It could go back to $5 a gallon like we had at last summer. Hopefully it doesn't. To prevent New York and the rest of the East Coast from running out of fuel, suppliers will need to get creative. Although the U.S. is a net exporter of gasoline, most of the excess is in the Gulf Coast, and the transporting this fuel to the East Coast is constrained by insufficient pipeline capacity and the expense of waterborne shipping. This is a crazy story. This is the federal bankruptcy court judge in Manhattan approved the plan on Monday that was submitted by is a Chinese developer, a Chinese owner of the hotel. And basically what they're going to do is an agreement with the city that the hotel will be provided 24-hour security, and the city will be responsible for removing guests that might be unruly or otherwise pose a danger or a nuisance to the guests and the employees and the contractors. The hotel will provide housekeeping services at least 3 times a week, and they will be used as a temporary housing area for the migrants. So these would be the people coming across the Mexican border being sent up by Texas and other states into New York. So the mayor said they've already spent close to $2 billion, much more than they have budgeted. And there's some 40,000 migrants have come here since last year, the city said. According to the agreement, microwaves will be removed from the rooms and moved to common areas. It also said the city will also provide all food, but might use the hotel's restaurant employees to prepare meals according to the filing. This is the Holiday Inn. So they also were told they will need to remove the branding, so they're going to cover up the Holiday Inn. So basically what this means is there is a huge bill going to be paid by the state. Some of it will be covered probably by the federal government, and we will be housing these people in very nice conditions, providing them their meals, having housekeeping come in a minimum of 3 times a week to clean their rooms. I don't need to make a comment on that. We're not even taking care of Americans that are here. I went to Kroger's in Spartanburg today. There was a completely out of regular eggs, but did have a few of the more expensive ones. They were also out of pork and beans. I believe that this is because people are eating more of these beans. Luckily, I did not need eggs. I have a neighbor that sells them to me for a really good price. I hope that his hens keep on laying. We live in Southern California. Our winters are usually mild. This winter has been different due to the unusual amount of rain. However, with the recent rate increase, we are now paying double the price for natural gas. We were hit with a bill of $400 for December and up from $200 in November. So definitely, this is California, Southern California. They're getting huge bills for heating just because it's rainy and cold. This is East Central Indiana. I went grocery shopping with my husband. Mostly was shocked by higher prices. The toilet paper aisle was completely depleted. And they sent me pictures. It looked like it was during the COVID time. Toilet paper aisle. I'm not seeing that here. You can find toilet paper. They might have a little bit of spots missing here and there, but it's still there. This is a crazy one. My 11-year-old goes through a bag of frozen peas and carrots in hours. He does not like them cooked. He just eats them frozen. So I always have about 20 one-pound bags in the freezer. I started running low, so I went to the store. Last month, a 1-pound bag of frozen peas and carrots was $1.99. Yesterday, $3.99. I'm still in shock. Also saying gas prices are creeping up again. 1 gallon of regular gas is now $4.49. And this is from Davis, California. From $1.99 to $3.99. That's insanity. This is a follow-up from the person that reported the energy prices high in their area. Just watched your report today and wanted to provide information you requested about my natural gas bill. Attaches the last 2 years of my natural gas bills by cost to support the report I sent. So basically, my bills have basically doubled from 2 years ago. So definitely Joe Biden's claims of 7, 8, 9% inflation is not correct. I'm showing a 100% spike in my utility and my fuel cost. Also, my groceries are gone sky high, lumber, all kinds of things. And not even to mention gas. It just hit $4 a gallon here. So an 80 cents increase in 2 weeks. 80 cents for gas in 2 weeks. So there you go. Take all this information, put it in your head, see what you're behind in. If you're needing to prep in certain areas, motivate yourself with this information. Do not be scared and get just paralyzed and frozen in place. Use it to motivate you to keep prepping. Thanks for watching.